So it's freezing here. It was -18 when I woke up this morning, which for you Americans is, I believe, -0.4. I don't understand Fahrenheit or Celsius. It doesn't make any sense to me. Celsius seems so much easier. Why don't you guys switch? Right now it's -10, which I don't even know what that is in Fahrenheit, but I think it's like 14 degrees. Anyway, that's all by way of saying that my dog's paws have started to stick to the sidewalk when I take him out for his morning walk, and he freaks out, and so we had to buy him boots, which really is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Come on, let's go. Wheeler, come here.
And I'm a terrible dog owner.
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
I'm on a really tight schedule and I only have a few minutes to do my video this week because I am this close to finishing my first draft of the book I've been working on for almost a year, and I want it done before Christmas holidays when I go back to Nova Scotia. Because I'm going to come back and edit it and get some stuff polished up. And so I've been spending almost every waking hour on that. And so thanks to Sarah and Kaylee for the awesome writer habits tag, because it makes things easy for me today. So I am going to follow their lead and do the writer habits tag. Typed or handwritten? I type. I used to do a lot of stuff handwritten. But I just find it's way more efficient for me to type. I use Scrivener because it's the best program ever invented. I love it. But I still do always have notebooks around, and I scribble down ideas, and I start a new notebook for every book. So I have shelves full of notebooks. They're just general idea notebooks, but also book-specific notebooks. Cursive or printed? When I am writing, it's always cursive. I don't print very much except for little headers. If I'm making, like, organizing things, I'll use printing to make little boxes or flow charts, but usually it's cursive. Favorite pen? Uniballs. Just like Sarah. I swear by Uniballs. This one's red, but I have black, blue, red, and usually green. Who are your 5 favorite authors in terms of authorial style? I have mentioned Donna Tartt many times on this vlog, and she is my absolute favorite writer. Because she can tell a really gripping, engaging story, but she doesn't let the language slide. It's a perfect marriage, in my mind, of a great, propulsive, plot-driven writer with a literary writer who remains accessible. I also love Alice Munro. I love Stephen King, I think, is a great writer in terms of the way that he can just kind of get into a crazy plot and just drag you into the story. I like J.K. Rowling, obviously. I have a lot of favorite writers, but those are the ones that I go to in terms of style. What are your 3 favorite books on writing? I have a few. In terms of just general plot mechanics, story structure, Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. It really boils things down to a very straightforward set of rules. I don't buy into everything. I don't think every story needs to be structured around these rules, but I do think that if you're looking for a way to get your narrative under control, that you can do a lot worse than this book. On Writing by Stephen King, fantastic book, both because you'll learn a lot about his own story, but also you'll get some really basic general musings on the art and craft of writing that are invaluable, and a lot of them pop into my head just randomly when I'm writing. I'll think about this book. The Writer's Journey by Christopher Vogler, a great book that takes Joseph Campbell's The Hero with a Thousand Faces and looks at it from a very practical writing standpoint. Really good book. It goes through all the different archetypes. It goes through the different stages in the myth structure, various myth structures throughout history. I really like this book. I've had it for well over 10 years and I go back to it all the time. Have you ever competed in NaNoWriMo? Yes, I have competed many times. Well, 2006, I believe, was my first year. And I have had various degrees of success. I did complete it once, and that was with my first book, Way to Go, which was published eventually, so that was kind of cool. Have you ever had anything published? Yes, I have. My first book was Way to Go. This is an arc of Way to Go. That came out in 2012. Young adult contemporary, I guess, although it's set in '94. Then my second young adult contemporary tag-along came out this fall, October. And I had a middle grade book called Totally Unrelated for a series of books about the performing arts called Limelights, which is published by Orca. I like this book. It's a lot of fun, and I love the cover. And my second book in that series, Big Time, comes out in the spring, March or April, and I also love this cover. Check it out. So this is the arc that I just got in the mail a week or two ago, and I'm pretty excited to have that for the shelf. And I also have an entry in the Dear Teen Me anthology, which is an anthology of letters written by young adult authors to their younger selves. There I am, back when I was a youngster. So those are my published works. What projects am I working on now? It's young adult science fiction. I'm just about finished with the first draft, and I'm really excited about that. It's the first book in a trilogy, which I've been mapping out as I write the first book, and I am really looking forward to seeing what happens with it. What is your soundtrack to writing? I write 2 soundtracks. I write 2 movie scores. I have several, and I tend to buy 1 or 2 new ones whenever I start a new project. And those soundtracks will get into my head and will really help propel me through the writing and kind of become a soundtrack to the book. So right now I'm listening to the soundtrack to Super 8 and the soundtrack to Tron, the Daft Punk soundtrack for Tron. Amazing, both of them. Great writing music. They really get into my head, and I can kind of let them sit there in the background while I'm writing, and they really kind of help me generate atmosphere. Do I have a writing pump-up song? No. That's pretty much it. I am tagging Lauren and Mitch and Lucien and Amy, and I will see you guys next Thursday. Peace out.